Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. If you like our video today, please comment and share it. Today, we're going to preview the Florida Gators for 2020. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and joining me today is two very talented gentlemen that's going to help me break down the Florida Gators. The first gentleman, he played in the National Football League. He was a first-round pick in the 1981 draft, 25th selection overall, Mr. Bobby Butler, with the Atlanta Falcons and by way of Florida State University. The other gentleman is one of the most talented high school coaches here in the Clayton County area in Atlanta Metro. He's coached at Mount Zion, Dutchtown, Riverdale, and Lovejoy. My man, Kevin the Bull Jones. So if you like the preview one more time as we break down the Florida Gators, please come in and share the video. Now let's get to the Gators. Dan Mullen, Gator Meet, SEC East. Tell us about the Gators, Mr. Kevin Bull Jones.
Well, this year, I think that coming up this year and on the playing fields will be even, because of the COVID virus, nobody had spring practice. So this is going to be the year of the offenses. The offenses this fall are going to determine who are going to be the big dogs on the block this fall, meaning how quickly can your offense come together as a cohesive group. Normally, we know that defenses arrive where they need to be quicker than offenses do. So my whole theory of looking at some of the top programs and where they're going to be is looking at how many starters they have coming back on offense, as well as is the gunslinger, is that quarterback coming back. That quarterback is coming back, Vincent and Bobby. That proves to be a pivotal part of the success of the football program. So with that being said, University of Florida has 6 on offense and 5 on defense. But the most important part of that whole scenario, those numbers, is the fact that Kyle Trask, the returning quarterback from last year, is coming back. And with him coming back, you want to think about, does he have some of the same receivers to throw to next year? So he does have the tight end Kyle Pitts, who's 6'6", 239 pounds. And he does have Trayvon Grimes, a returning receiver from last year. So those are two integral parts of what's going to be important offensively for them. Now, on the offensive line side, they do return 3 starters on the offensive line. So that does give them a little bit of wiggle room as far as familiarity with the offensive scheme. And that's really important because if you can't score, the way these teams play defense, in the SEC, you can't win. Florida was number 28 in the nation in scoring last year, averaging 33 points a game. So with Trask at the helm, I think that offensively they're going to be extremely sound. On the defense side of the ball, they got some kids that are Brenton Cox, former UGA football player from Stockbridge High School. It should make a lot of noise on that defensive line. Kyrie Campbell is coming back, as well as Tredarion Skelton is going to be playing turn in on that defensive line for them. So that's pretty important that you got some veteran guys that can step up and make some plays. So for me, what I'm looking at defensively, they've got a few guys that can really make some good plays and veteran ball players. They lost C.J. Henderson, to the NFL draft, but they did have Sean Davis and Marco Wilson coming back in their secondary. So they got some guys that can play. But the key element for the defense side of the ball is Todd Grantham. What he does, he always is able to concoct some things to help the Florida defense be pretty good. He's an attacking defensive guy, runs a lot of blitzes, my kind of guy. And those are the things Florida's going to be good on the defensive side of the ball because they have the athletes. But to me, guys, the common denominator I'm going to share every time is who is the gunslinger? Do you have the gunslinger coming back? With that being the case, I think Florida has a shot to make a run in the SEC East.
Mr. Bobby Butler.
Well, Coach, I agree with you. The teams that do well, the teams that go far, are the teams who got their quarterback coming back, a guy who's seasoned, a guy who's mature. Kyle Trask, man, what a great story for me, right? Anytime I hear about him, I get goosebumps because this guy has never been a starter since his 9th grade year in high school.
Wow.
And so I asked myself, how do he even get an opportunity to get a scholarship to the University of Florida? But it worked out. His high school coach spoke highly of him, both quarterbacks that played in front of him in high school also are playing Division I football right now, by the way. And so he had some competition. But his high school coaches believed in him and worked the Florida coaches, and they invited him to summer camp. And when they invited him to summer camp, they felt he was good enough to earn a scholarship, and they gave him a scholarship. And so he's waited and waited. Felipe, Franks got hurt, went down last year, and the rest is history. They got through for just under 3,000 yards last year, and he's got weapons, and so I like him. You know, I don't like much about the Florida Gators, but I got to tell you something about them. Over the years, since the time I've been a little kid, they've always had quarterbacks that really draw me in, right? Starting way back with Don Gaffney. You don't know nothing about that, Mr. Turner. Don Gaffney from Jacksonville Reigns High School in Jacksonville. I used to look up at him when I was a kid. And then, of course, Tebow, what he means to mankind. He's a winner. So they always draw me in some kind of way with their quarterback situation. I think Kyle Trask is going to be exceptional. Just like Coach said, they got a great tight end. Here's the thing about Trask. He knows how to use the tight end. Yeah. Great quarterbacks know how to find the tight end or that slot receiver who can move the chain. And so he'll make great decisions. And so they're going to be good. Here's the thing I like about them. Trevon Grimes, Jacob Copeland, Kadarius Toney, that's a receiver room. But they got some transfers. They got a guy from Penn State named Justin Shorter coming in. And remember this name. This is a familiar name in the Gator family, Jordan Pouncey. And see, when we talk about the Pouncey brothers from Lakeland, Florida, back in the days, that one playing for the Steelers right now, center, one playing center for the San Diego Chargers, twins, by the way. These guys are cousins, right? And so what a name for the university. So they're excited about Jordan Pouncey transferring from Texas. And then you got a 5-star guy coming in by the name of Xavier Henderson, and he's going to have a big future down there. So I don't know how much playing time he's going to get, but he's got the ability to play immediately. So I always tell y'all this, running backs and wide receivers are what? A dime a dozen. And so in the state of Florida, guys, as long as you got an offensive line play, as long as you got a gunslinger, you're going to be fine, right? The running back position, Damian Pierce, hey, guys, these guys are going to be exceptional on offense, right? Line play, they're not that deep, but they got the job done last year. So they're going to be fine. On the defensive side of the ball, the secondary, they got to replace, just like you said, Coach, C.J. Henderson, right? Well, Marco Wilson can play, and he'll show up in the secondary. And they're going to be good. And then we got Ethan Pouncey. That's George's brother. So Jordan's transferring from Texas. Ethan is a 4-star coming out of high school right now. He's ready to play right now. I'm telling y'all. So they're loaded, man. Anytime you talk about University of Florida and skill positions, they're not going to miss a beat. Their linebacker. Now they lost two great rushers last year on the defense, but they're going to be fine. And so, just like you say, Brenton Cox is going to come in. I'm trying to figure that out. Coach, I know you're from the south side of the ATL, right? But, it's like me. As much as, I'm trying to be nice today, my blood bleeds garnet and gold, not orange and blue, right? I can imagine leaving the garnet and gold and playing for the orange and blue. Anyway, that's just my opinion, right? This guy transferred from Georgia. I can't wait to see him play in the cocktail game down in Jacksonville.
On the other side.
Coach, what is he going to do in that game? Can he control himself in that game? It's going to be
Amen.
great.
That's a key word. Can he control himself?
Can he control himself in that game? But at the end of the day, the head coach there, Coach Mullins, has done a great job in the last 3 years. I tip my hat off to him. He's got the program going in the right direction. And Florida's going to be a contender. It's going to be out of them and Georgia in the East. It's going to come down to that game in Jacksonville. Who's going to win the East, in my opinion. So with that being said, I predict their season will end either 10-1 or 9-2.
Wow.
Now let me tell you why. If they lose to Georgia in Jacksonville, they'll lose to Florida State. That's going to be their second loss.
Wow.
All right. If they win in Jacksonville, they're going to win out. in my opinion. I think they got that kind of a team. They got a quarterback, a seasoned quarterback, and that's what a lot of people are lacking this year in the SEC, a seasoned quarterback. So I think Florida's going to have a pretty good season this year.
Wow.
Gentlemen, y'all did some great observation of the Gators. First, I'm going to start with you, Coach Jones. I agree with you 100%. When you got a returning quarterback and Kyle Trask coming back in the season he had, hey, man, you're going to be very successful. And the guy that played a lot of quality football. Think about this. Florida, before Dan Mullen got there, was really struggling at the position. Let's be reality. Felipe Franks wasn't getting the job done. But in game 3, when Kyle Trask came off the bench in that Kentucky game, something happened to that whole program at the University of Florida. They went to another level. So that being said, like you said, Coach Jones, they got a returning quarterback. Like you said, Brother Butler, I like their skilled people. I like Trevon Grimes. I like Kyle Pitts, who I think is the best tight end in the country. They got 3 starters come back on the offensive line. Like both of you gentlemen said, Todd Grantham might be the best defensive coach in the country. Brendan Cox is going to be smelling blood, played at Georgia, now at Florida. He's going to want to make a name himself. And to me, they got one of the best secondaries in the country. And they're bringing back one of the better defensive backs in the country, Marco Wilson. That being said, I'm going to say like the great KC and the Sunshine Band. Can we party? Because it's going to be like this down in Gator Lane. If you like the video today, please comment and share it. This is 100 Yards of Football. That was our season preview of the Florida Gators.